Hey folks, how's it going? All right, let's talk about building on Stargaze. All right, I like to first start off with talking about the numbers. So let's go through some of them. So there's been over 420 collections launched on Stargaze so far. The LAUNCHPAD started in March. On March 11th, we started with around 10 or 11 Genesis projects, and it's grown to over 420 projects now on LAUNCHPAD. So that amounts to something like 700,000 NFTs. Sorry for people who don't like NFTs, but this was one of the first in Cosmos, and we made NFTs a thing in Cosmos. So far, from the LAUNCHPAD, around 50 million stars has been paid to creators. And these are mostly independent artists. So Stargaze is actually kind of living up to the crypto ethos of getting normal people into crypto. The marketplace launched in May, and so far it has paid out 4.5 million stars in royalties to creators. Stargaze also the blockchain has 100% uptime. It's only gone down whenever it has to do upgrades. Also, the RPC service that powers it has handles over 3.5 billion requests a month, and that also has 100% uptime. This might come surprising to some of you. It was surprising to me, but Stargaze it comes in third in developer activity in all of Cosmos. So it's Osmosis, Cosmos Hub, and then Stargaze. In terms of IBC volume, it ranks in first when it comes to IBC in to IBC out ratio. So when people come into Stargaze, they don't leave. So it's kind of sticky. It's doing more volume than NFT marketplaces on Ethereum and Tezos like Rarible and Hic and Nunc. And it's also doing more volume than some major blockchains like Near with a fraction of its funding. So I thought today we'll talk about some of the projects and tools that are building on Stargaze that are like not made by the core team, and just kind of highlight some of them. HUBBLE tools. So if you're an active trader on Stargaze, you usually have the Stargaze site on one tab, and then you have HUBBLE tools on another tab. So the way to think about it is like maybe Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. HUBBLE tools has a live mint tracker, live sales tracker, live listings tracker. So it's almost like a real-time kind of trading environment for NFT traders. It also has some nice features like a whale wallet tracker and sales volume data. How Rare API. This was an API built by some of the Genesis creators. And it basically scours IPFS for all the data and rarity and traits, compiles them all together, and this is what powers Stargaze.zone's rarity data. Constellations. This is a project I'm very excited about. This is a high-performance indexer in Rust. Is built on Tendermint RS by Informal Systems, and it's providing a really nice GraphQL API that's going to power some of the features in the front end. Like sales history, trait filtering, and so on and so forth. Built by a validator called Penso. So delegate if you guys want to see this move faster. And yeah, it can process like 80 gigs of block data in 30 minutes. Stargaze Studio is another project that's been worked on. This is by Deus Labs. And it's basically a UI to enable artists to easily upload their assets and launch a collection. Because right now you kind of have to play with the command line, and that's not really friendly to some artists. And now I'll talk about some of the NFT projects that are building on Stargaze. Now, there's so many of them, obviously I can't cover all of them, but these are some of the more interesting ones. PS Labs. PS Labs is an EX-TERRA project. There's a handful of EX-TERRA projects that are building on Stargaze. The way this works is they launched a collection called X tokens, and it's like an access token that gives you access to their AI lab, which is kind of like a DALL-E-like service where you can go and mint your own NFT. And they made this little video that I'll show. And we didn't have any kind of dev fund or anything like that for Terra. They just came to us and started building on top. So they keep pushing the boundaries of what you can do with this stuff. They have another new project called O tokens that's coming out that makes you kind of do generate more complex AI NFTs. Space Ape Society, another EX-TERRA project. It's a kind of a derivative project, but the art is different and interesting. They built this thing called a swap shop where you can send two apes to one address, and then it burns them, and then it gives you a new ape from their vault that hopefully is more rare than the ones that you put in and burned. And there's a bunch of projects that tend to want to do similar stuff. Stargaze's NFTs, they built this like really cool pixelated banners, and nearly every Cosmos chain has this in their Twitter bio or any social media that has some kind of banner, and it really kind of brought the ecosystem together by having all these chains have these banners up. And this is something that's kind of unique to Stargaze. It seems like a trivial thing, but we as the Cosmos ecosystem can say where we started the whole NFT banner kind of thing. This doesn't exist on Ethereum or anywhere else. They did this really kind of fun thing where anyone who had a banner got airdropped rockets and rocket fuel. And if you have two of these and you burn them, then it generates this really cool kind of cyberpunk cosmonaut PFP character. And the website is pretty neat. It's also kind of like retro 80s design, where you can go and put the rocket token ID, the fuel token ID, and click on mint. Then Coupler comes up, and you get your cosmonaut. I didn't want to do this real time because demos never work on stage. But yeah, that's Stargazer's NFTs. MULTISCAPE is another banner project. This one's a little different. They have these collections of layers. These are all kind of like vector art. And then kind of a similar deal. You can combine them. You can combine two layers and mint a new one that combines the metadata and generates a new NFT. Puzzlers is kind of interesting. It's an actual little puzzle game. So let me actually try this live. Let me click on here and see if it goes to the website. And I'm going to try and solve this puzzle in front of you guys. Okay, never mind. But yeah, that's a fun little thing. There's a bunch of DAO projects that's building on Stargaze. All these NFT projects have DAOs, but there's no native DAOs on Stargaze yet. It's definitely coming. But to get around that, they're voting through the memo field. So if that's not product market fit, I don't know what is. All right, now I'm going to talk about Launchpad v2. So we're not just resting on our laurels. We keep improving everything that we build. And Launchpad v2 is a CosmWasm framework for custom minters. So right now, Launchpad is really kind of focused on these generated kind of profile picture projects. We definitely want to move beyond that and do more stuff. So this is a framework that enables anyone to build custom minters. So you can have a one-on-one minter, generative art, even NFTs for liquidity positions. So if you use Uniswap v3, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You can have a name service. You can build non-transferable NFTs, POAPs, all kinds of stuff. And the cool thing is this is all tied into governance. So if you have any kind of parameters, like, for example, token price or whatever, that can be voted on through regular Cosmos governance. Here's kind of a high-level diagram of how it works. Apologies if this is kind of too small to read. But basically, the way it works is that governance would instantiate these minter factories, and then users will be able to, artists will be able to create new minters with the parameters that they want. And then, if someone else comes up and they want to have a different kind of minter with different parameters, they can come and create another one. So this kind of creates like this kind of scalable framework that just plugs into everything else in Stargaze and just works well together. One example of a project that's building a custom minter is Imago. Imago is a generative art minter. So if you've ever used like art blocks on Ethereum or FX Hash on Tezos, it's very similar to those. It's built by one of our Genesis creators, Stuart. And the way it works is that it doesn't save anything on IPFS or anything like that. It generates art in real time. So based on your address, the block height, and a couple other factors, it generates this art. And we're just touching the surface of this. Like, Rust is so powerful and there's so many really cool creative coding frameworks. And I'm really looking forward to when people port some of these creative coding frameworks and make some awesome art in CosmWasm. All right, how to deploy in Stargaze. Now, you guys probably think this is going to be 10 pages long. But no, it's only one slide. It's only 3 steps to deploy in Stargaze. You upload to the testnet. It's a permissionless testnet. Then you write a forum post on Commonwealth with a link to the open source code. Only open source code is allowed in Stargaze. And then you upload the WASM file through governance. And the voting period is only 3 days. And that's it. So, so the reason for this process is because the main reason for this process is Stargaze has 0 gas, right? And because of that, it's easy for anyone to, if it was completely open, anyone can upload a contract that goes in a loop and just does a state bloat attack and just blows up the state of the chain, right? So there has to be some kind of governance that looks over what's uploaded. If you're a developer, there's several incentives to build on top of Stargaze. If you're writing smart contracts, you can earn 10% of all fees that go through it. And if you're building creator tools like HUBBLE tools and so forth, you can earn a finder's fee. So a finder's fee is kind of like an affiliate fee. So if you're a creator, you have a huge following, you can have your own website where you can have your own little marketplace there. And then if you do matching of asks and bids, you can earn a finder's fee there. Okay. And coming soon, IBC NFT transfers. So this is something we've been kind of started earlier on in the year, but then kind of had to do lots of other stuff in Stargaze, like working on the marketplace and so forth. But we're coming back to this and trying to finish this off. But yeah, this will allow NFTs to flow between any IBC chain. So in this example, I have an example between Stargaze and Juno. Let's say you want to send a bad kid to Juno, right? First, you'll send a send transaction to the SG721 contract with an IBC transfer message that goes to the IBC bridge, and then it transfers that NFT to an escrow contract, and the escrow contract just kind of keeps it locked until the whole transaction is done. So then it sends this new outgoing packet to the IBC handler. Then the relayer picks it up normally, as in how IBC works, and then it'll send it off to the IBC handler on the Juno side. That side will also have an IBC bridge contract, and then once it receives it, then it's going to mint it into this kind of IBC collection contract, and then it is going to be sent to the user who wanted it. So that's how it works on the sending, from sending from a source chain to a sync chain. Then let's say you want to send it back, right? It's kind of a similar process. You do another send transaction on the IBC collection contract. Then it talks to the bridge. It transfers it to the bridge. The bridge transfers that to an escrow contract. And then it sends it to the IBC handler, goes to the relayer, goes to Stargaze. And then when it reaches the bridge on Stargaze, it unescrows it from the escrow contract and then transfers it back to the user. Then there's the ACK from the IBC connection that goes all the way back to Juno and says, hey, the process worked. I was able to send the NFT. And then the bridge contract calls burn on the escrow and burns the NFT because you don't need 2 copies of it. So that's kind of how it works for IBC NFT transfers. We hope to have this working in the next several months. And that's it, folks. If you want to learn more about Stargaze, come check us out on Twitter, Discord, everywhere else. And if you want to get a POAP to prove that you were here, you can scan this QR code and get a POAP NFT, this beautiful little NFT you see over here. All right, folks, thank you.